Hey y'all, Ben here with The Great Adventure. Just got to the Stubblefield campground, and as you can see behind me, I set up my tent real quick because it's getting dark, but I wanted to touch base before my journey tomorrow. So I'm going to finish setting up camp, and then I have a ride out of here to go to trailhead number 15 of the Lone Star Hiking Trail, and I hope to get there about 7:30, 8 o'clock to start my journey. I'm looking to shoot for about 20 to 25 miles that first day, and got two different spots picked out depending on where I get. But we'll talk more about that tomorrow. I'm going to finish setting up, grab some food, eat some dinner, and then we'll see you on the trail tomorrow. So as you can see, I set up my tent and I got an air mattress. I also brought a couple of just random blankets, not quite backpacking blankets, but I did this because I'm gonna get an early start at 6:30 a.m. tomorrow for my ride. So I figured easiest way is to camp in the tent tonight, and then I have a hammock and a tarp for camping on my thru hike. I haven't used a hammock before, so this is kind of my first time, but I tried a little bit in my backyard. I do feel like it's a little more comfortable of a sleep, but due to the early rise tomorrow, I just thought it'd be easier to be able to quick break this down, throw it in my truck, and not have to worry about packing my bag up again. So we'll see you in the morning. Hey y'all, Ben here with The Great Adventure. It's morning 1, about to start my thru hike of the Lone Star Hiking Trail. I am at trailhead 15. Got a little dicey last night, got down to probably about 34 or 35 degrees, so I had to get up about 2 o'clock and sleep in my truck. Supposed to warm up today, but might get down into the mid-30s again. Apologize if the camera's shaking a little bit. It's still a little cold right now. I think it's in the low 40s, but about to get started. I want to welcome you on my journey, and I also wanted to share with you the apps that I'm going to be using on my hike. So basically, I'm going with All Trails to track my my mileage and time, and then I'm using Maprika as my GPS. That's about the best one I've heard and seen when doing this hike previously. So let's get this started. Ahead of me, you got these little palm style plants. Someone in the comments, help me out what those are called. But with those small palm plants usually means swamp. So a lot of water on the ground, a lot of muddy, marshy area. So we'll see what we got coming up. And as you can see, there's palms everywhere. And this is what I'm talking about. Yep, there's the marsh. See what we can do. So in preparation for my hike, I've been doing a lot of research, and a great resource is the Lone Star Hiking Trail Facebook page. I recommend checking that out if you're looking to get out here. A lot of good people on there. Everybody's really fast at getting back to you with comments. I wanted to add a link below in the description so that you can reference it. Be mindful though, if you're looking to join the group, it is family friendly, so don't go on there and make fun of people or badmouth somebody for putting a comment up there that you think is pretty logical to figure out on their own. It's just a fun way for people to interact and talk about the trail. But one thing that I did notice on there about a year ago when I started looking into this trail more was somebody posted a picture of a little mud mound with a hole in the top and asking what it was, and there was a lot of good comments on there that, you know, it's a baby Sasquatch or that kind of thing, but lo and behold, it's actually where the crawfish hang out. So I wanted to, if you're familiar with Texas at all, between February and maybe late April, it's crawfish season, and there's a lot of good restaurants and bars that'll put on a crawfish boil. So if you're down here, I recommend doing a little research, finding a local bar or restaurant, maybe that doesn't serve crawfish normally, but they may have an advertisement for the weekend or a Sunday to a crawfish boil. Those are the best. They usually bring in a local vendor that scoops up a bunch of them, brings it in and boils them, and you get them by the pound, a lot of times with potato or corn and maybe some sausage. So it's really awesome, recommend it. But I wanted to show an example of these little crawfish mounds. So check it out. So here are some crawfish holes. I assume the hole at the top is an air hole for when the ground gets super saturated and the water gets above the ground level. But respond in the comments below if I'm incorrect. I also want to apologize to the guys because sometimes they're right in the middle of the trail. It's pretty swampy and right in the perfect step. So don't see them. I try to avoid them, but I might step on one. But I'm sure you'll do just fine rebuilding. So let's get walking again. And why don't you leave a comment below for your favorite slang term for a crawfish. This is about the extent of the elevation of the trail, which also means that it's usually pretty wet. So, been fortunate so far that I haven't had to do many ankle deep crossings or long stretches of water. But fingers crossed, what I've seen is the extent of it. So one of my issues that I have that I haven't quite figured out yet is trying to get my water bottle back in my pocket of my backpack behind me. Now, I know I'm not the most limber and lengthy guy, but there's got to be an easier way than having to take my bag off each time. I just can't reach back there and get it back in. I know there's a contraption where you can hook the water bottle up to your chest strap right here. And so I think that's the next purchase for me, to get one of those and try it out and see how that pans out, because this stopping, taking my bag off, it's not a good option for me. I like carrying smart water bottles, but those pockets suck. Let me know in the comments if y'all have other thoughts or how you handle taking the water bottles out of your pack. Well, I made it to the primitive camp between mile marker 83 and 84. It's about 13.3 miles from where I started, and I think it's time for lunch. Never know what you see on the trail, and never thought I would see a albino rabbit. Pretty sure somebody left this one out. There was another one back on the trail a little bit ago, but he or she is foraging for food right now. But you can tell they're used to people, as it's not running away. Hey y'all. So, got a bit of dilemma ahead of me. When I was doing research for this hike, I was looking at places to camp on my first day of hiking, and it was either the camp between 75 and mile marker 76, which is roughly about 4.5 miles away, or I could continue on to the camp between mile marker 68 and 69, I think. So that is about 11 miles total. The issue is it's a little after 3:15 and sunsets here about 6 o'clock. So got about another half an hour, 45 minutes after that before it gets dark. And the issue is right around, I think mile marker 70 or 71 is where the San Jacinto River Bridge is out at. It was taken out during Harvey back a few years ago, and there is a downed tree up the river a little bit, which I wouldn't be concerned about, but trying to cross in the dark or in the low daylight might be a little dicey. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna see how I feel when I get to the first camping spot. I'm gonna try to push about 4 miles an hour, and if I can do that and I feel all right, should be able to make it to that further camp, which would be ideal. So we'll see what happens. Hey y'all. So made it to the river, just crossed it a second ago. It was a little sketchy, but got there in time to be able to see what I'm doing. I just literally stepped across the river, now I'm setting up camp. So I decided to scrap the idea to go into the 68, 69 mile marker and camp there. Really only about 2 miles away, but this wide open area here, so I figured it'd be a great spot to set up camp and then take off in the morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. This is day 2 of my backpacking trip of the Lone Star Hiking Trail. I just wanted to let everybody know that unfortunately I'm going to have to step off the trail and continue this another day. Last night when I got here, about mile marker 71, I realized that my Sawyer Squeeze water filter is not working. So, it's a dumb move by me, should have checked that beforehand, completely understand. I have tablets I could use, but a lot of the water around here is pretty murky, so I'd still prefer to filter it. So I think I'm just gonna call it and hitch a ride out of here, and then hopefully come back to finish the last 50 miles another day. So thanks for joining me. Appreciate y'all following. If you still enjoyed everything you saw before, please like this video and subscribe, and add any comments or questions down below, or what you do to prepare for your trip so this doesn't happen to you. Thanks guys, take care.